It actually feels like we're playing Tetris, but we're making our pieces as we go along.
Okay, so I've come down to B&Q to have a look at a few sheds. I've got an idea of what I want, sort of like a pent roof, which is similar to this one here. But I don't want to spend this much money on one. So this one is £1,395, 6 foot by 4 foot. So originally when I thought I'm going to build a shed, I thought I'll just grab one from B&Q, make it nice and easy, set up. There's a few websites as well. And I just thought one similar to this wooden one here. And, you know, obviously a bit bigger, but the style, I just thought this would do. They're pretty basic, really thin, like 25 mil, I think, if that, 20 mil, feather cladding on the outside, and that's it, just that on a bit of a timber floor. Plasticky window. I don't want a window actually. OSB roof, that feels very, very thin, but this is what I sort of thought I could make. So I thought to myself, I can make that cheaper. Unfortunately, I have a reputation for changing my mind when I start a project. But I think I actually changed my mind for the better. So you be the judge. Have a look at what this looks like and tell me what you think my shed turns out. Do you think I've done a better job? I hope I have, because it cost me a lot more money. But it's not always about the money. Sometimes I feel we as humans, we have this desire to create. You know, some people will create through music, through writing, through baking, through whatever way you do it. We just want to create. Personally, I just love creating like this. I love building things. I remember as a child, I had this desire to build forts and cubbies and all manner of things in our backyard. And I just love the fact that my parents understood this and just let me go. It was just great. And as I build this, I also realize that I'm not just building it for my family to use. You know, one day we're going to sell this, you know, whether it's soon or in a long time, we're going to sell, and somebody else is going to take ownership of this. So I also want to create something that somebody else can get a benefit out of. And I think that's what drives me. I think it's what helps me get through. But at the end of the day, I just love it. I just love being out here, and I just love building. I seriously, I looked at this and I went, Josh is going to do chin-ups on it, and it's not safe for chin-ups, so I better put some through there just to make sure.
Well, do you want to know, he tried to do a chin-up before while he was holding the piece of wood upright.
Good day, hasn't it?
Yep.
I think so. We've got the frame up to the shed. So yesterday, Jack and I, we built the base, and then today we went ahead and actually put the base into place, and then we built the frame, and I'm actually kind of happy with where it got to. So it's sturdy enough. Won't shake it too much, because without well, you can see it, without all the framing on it and without the roof, it's going to wobble. But I think for the shell at the moment, I'm very happy with where it got to. My concern is at the moment we haven't got a roof, we haven't done anything to protect the floor. So, but I've heard that this OSB is meant to be good enough to handle a little sprinkling of rain and stuff like that. So here's hoping, fingers crossed. The good thing is it's very windy at the moment, so we'll actually dry things out very quickly. So yeah, let's just have a look at it. Now the unfortunate thing is I've got to work for the next 3 days. I won't get home till late. I think it'll be too late to make noise. So probably won't be able to get the thing in. And this is our tap dancing floor. Right, I've just got home from work and heard that there's a rain warning, and I've decided to change how I'm doing the shed. So we've actually pulled the frame off. It's sitting over there. And now we're going to put some waterproofing on the edges so the OSB doesn't get destroyed. So a bit of a tight schedule because it's kind of late.
sure, Michael, that the other day when I left, this was already all together? What is the caper?
Well, I have been accused of changing my mind a few times when I start projects.
What?
Yeah.
That's news to me.
No. So we had to make it rainproof the other day, and so we took the frame off, and then I went, look, why don't we just damp proof it? And then I went, well, I'm going to change my design. Originally, I was just going to put the cladding straight onto this, because that was equivalent to what I could have bought from B&Q and places like that. But then I went, no, I'm going to actually make it better. And so I thought I'll put some timber on this, some OSB. And now, many iterations later, I'm going to be putting OSB on this, and then I'm actually going to be putting some membrane on it, and then carcassing. Like, yeah, it's got a lot more complicated, a lot more dearer.
And really what he's saying is, whatever he just said possibly isn't going to be what the final thing is anyway.
Well, yeah, no, what? Okay, let me translate what I was trying to say there. We're nearly hitting 1,000 subscribers, and you haven't already. Can you show some support by subscribing now? We'd really appreciate it.
So I think I said yesterday that we get to make our own Tetris pieces. Michael made us make them this way. Couldn't just be easy and do straight cuts. We had to do fancy ones. I guess they are still straight cuts, but not just, yeah.
This sort of thing does add strength to the corner. So I shore it up there where the joint is. It's a common thing that you do in plasterboarding. Maybe didn't need it for this, but why not? We had the board, might as well. And now we're gonna have to cut a little bit for there, so happy days. For me, I didn't have to cut it. All right, I've set myself up a little workstation. It's not probably builder approved, but I had a bench, just cut the legs. They're my guides, so I know where it is. That will flip up when I'm doing my next cut, so I know the length I have to cut it to. So, and every time that I actually make a cut, I put a little X at the front. That way I know later that I have to orientate it with the X on here. Just cut my first piece for up there. You put it near the edge here so that if you do want to put a ceiling in, you can. I just realised I made a mistake in my rush to do things. You're meant to look for the crown and put the crown at the top, so where it bows. On this one, I've got it low. I've already committed to the cut for most of them, so I just have to hope for the best. So while I'm working, somebody's clowning around, hey?
Wilson.
Wilson, Tim the Toolman Taylor. No, it's Mick the Toolman Taylor. I never call myself Mick. Anyway. Okay, it's come time for me to put the front board up at the moment. I've lined it up at the back using a string line. Just made sure we didn't touch the string line, just a fraction of it, so it wouldn't get affected. So, because other people have gone up for their snacks at the moment, Eli's holding the camera, I'm just going to screw this on, and that will help me do it by myself. So I'll show you this here now. Yep. So now what that will do is so now I don't need two people to do this. So that's good, and now I just got to get my measurements from here out so that, yeah, so I can screw it on. We've got somebody using some choice language in the background to their child. Okay, if I've done this correctly, that's going to be the noggins. I'll have another piece going down there. And if I've done it right, it should be the same down the other end. So here's hoping. So if I've done it correctly, that and that, and I am way off. I'm way off because I haven't cut this board yet. I cut it to ship it here, but I haven't actually cut it for the job. So yeah, I'll do that now. Because the whole idea was to have 300mm overhang from the side wall. So I'll do that now. That's the final piece getting put in for Josh. We have to then trim off some edges and then we can start to felt it. So happy days. So I've still got a few things to do in here. Got to put the noggings in, so between there. Same as the outside, they will actually be about 60mm shorter. So 50 to 60mm is what we're aiming for, and that's just going to allow ventilation to get through. So the soffits will have to make sure that we drill some vent holes, so and that will allow air to flow all the way through here. And then if somebody decides that they want to insulate this later, they can. And this is what they call a cold roof. So we've cut up the felt, getting ready to lay it on the roof. We need 4 lengths, and we've actually just had lunch, and we've now left it out in the sun so that it can soften up a bit. So while we work on the roof, I've just put a couple of little supports in, so just make the ladder a bit safer to climb up.
Because his wife's a sookie la-la and doesn't like climbing up there without someone holding the ladder. So what are you actually doing?
Basically, we're sealing up the joints so that water can't sort of shoot back up. So yeah, it's just a glue to make sure that all of them stick together.
Unfortunately, we've just discovered that we put the first strip in the wrong spot. So
the problem is when I did my measurements, I measured 1 meter down at the overlap, and I put a line. Then I measured another like meter minus a 75 for the overlap. Down here, put a line there. Whereas I actually should have done it all from that end. So now I've made that mistake, but luckily for me, we had such a excess over there, we can easily rectify it now. Had I put down this second sheet, we would have actually had to go and buy some more material. So yeah, a mistake, but
rectifiable.
Very rectifiable. So, onwards and upwards.
So I am continuing to put the cladding on, obviously trying to make sure it's all level and that, but this here, because this lining sheet is behind, it is messing with my head. I keep thinking that I'm not putting the slats level, but I have checked them a million times, so they are level. Now I have done, I don't know how many, but I'm up to the last full plank, and then we need to get into I guess, measuring up and cutting and shaping the next one. So hopefully this one fits in okay, and then we don't have too much to do up in that corner. But I have a feeling we're going to have to, which is...
It's going to be too windy, I think. End of the day, been getting very windy. We've done a pack up. It's 6:45 or 6:50 at the moment, so I think that's the limit of what we're allowed to do.
But
Look at that.
the front of the shed has its cladding
Yeah.
on.